So look at that, right? And then imagine it feels and smells worse than it looks.
From daytime talk show ambushes to primetime debates and late-night jousts, Ricky Gervais has shown that the simplest question can become a verbal knockout.
What is the weirdest excuse that you've ever heard?
You say the UK version.
Yeah.
I call it the original.
Tonight on Wokely, we're taking you behind the scenes of 7 unforgettable interview set pieces. Clean, seamless narratives under your own clips, each marked with the headline, "Moment that lit up social feeds worldwide." No bullet points, just the story, the twist, and the punchline. Under the pastel glow of a live daytime set, Joy Behar leaned in to challenge Ricky on whether political incorrectness crosses a line.
Well, when you go on the Golden Globes, a lot of time you are politically incorrect and hilarious, of course.
Thank you.
And so,
Thank you.
So this is,
Well,
yeah.
He reframed offense as a feeling, not a fact, and asked the audience to separate emotional reactions from universal truths.
yeah, well, that's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. You know, it's offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? You know, so you can't second guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one. With comedy as well, I think you've got to deal with taboos and contentious issues, and sometimes you deal in irony, and some people don't get that. But you know, you can't legislate against stupidity, otherwise you'll be doing nothing. So if you're saying anything, you should polarise. You should polarise because everyone's different. So.
When she reached out to pat his shoulder and cheekily labeled him a germaphobe, he pointed out the brilliant contradiction. Uninvited contact one moment, moralizing the next.
Are you a germaphobe? Are you not a hugger? No, you're touching, you're germaphobe?
No, they said keep it quick, just go and sit down.
Oh, okay, so we can touch you?
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, wow, we just thought you were huggy. Because you gave hugs the last time you were here.
I feel like a strippergram.
Producer notes branding his joke sexist drew another calm refocus. Critique must begin with true understanding.
We haven't seen you really around since the Golden Globes, where you were
a low profile.
Yeah, well, they attacked you, but they said that you were mean and rude, and you were surprised at that. You were surprised. Let me just read one of the things they thought was...
I am mean rude. I'm surprised they attacked me for it, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let me read one thing they thought was mean, and we'll decide whether it was mean or not, okay? Referring to Sex and the City 2, you said, I was sure the Golden Globe would go to the team that airbrushed that poster.
Yeah.
A little sexist.
No, it's not. Why is it sexist?
Well, because you're saying that the girls are older and they need to be airbrushed.
No, I think they look great at their age. Why hide it?
Oh.
I don't think that you lose your sensuality or your beauty because you hit 53. I'm saying, why are they hiding it?
Oh, I see. That's not what people got.
Do you think that the joke, when you have to explain the joke, that maybe it wasn't told, that because people didn't get it, or you think that most people got it?
I'm defending my motives, not the joke. I stand by the joke. Yeah. I don't think I have anything to apologise for, but that's not the joke. I think if you're going to criticise, you've got to understand the joke before you can.
A sequined reporter asked the dreaded question, why no women?
Hey, so I want to ask you about the HBO special, Talking Funny. We just saw a clip from it, right? So we got Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Louis C.K. No women comedians on that panel?
Instead of token shuffling, Ricky proposed an additive solution.
Who would you replace?
I don't know which one.
No, because it was 4 people.
It's just 4 people.
Yeah, so who would you take off?
I wouldn't. I would just add.
There you go.
Slot in female headliners alongside the guys. He quipped that some men simply quake in their dress shirts when funny women walk in.
These are his favorites. He has the right. I think that you're right.
We don't have a male on our
When I
panel,
do
so
a
we're kind
special
of
like
guilty.
that, I will do it with women.
No, exactly. They're my friends, and I chose my friends. Oh, and also, men are intimidated by funny women, so we didn't want them in the room. That was a joke.
The unexpected generosity of that answer turned potential headline bait into a rallying cry for inclusion.
Jerry Lewis famously said at one point that he didn't think women were funny. Do you think women are funny?
What's the difference? That's ridiculous.
It's a different sensibility.
Statistically, less women go into stand-up from what I've seen, so there's probably less to choose from.
Right.
But yeah, there are loads of funny women. I've worked with loads of funny women. Of course I have. There's loads of funny women here.
Under ad Don't Replace, viewers flooded social media with dream lists of comedians they wanted to see join the table, applauding Ricky's collaborative spin. On a separate network special, a host confidently dubbed the U.S. adaptation of The Office the original.
Of course, you play, in the UK version of The Office, play the boss.
Ricky paused, tipped an imaginary hat to Steve Carell's brilliance, and reminded everyone that David Brent debuted in Slough, England years earlier.
What is the weirdest excuse that you've ever heard?
You say the UK version.
Yeah.
I call it the original.
Yes, well done. You're well done. Well done. It's true. Wow, that's fake me.
Just that most people think Steve Carell came up with it.
He praised both casts, likening the American show to a brilliant remix of the British pilot. No red faces, no harsh cuts, just a smooth history lesson that had viewers digging out their DVDs.
That's true, but you all were the original.
Yeah, and Steve Carell did an amazing job, and I think the American version is fantastic. Yeah, no, there's seven remakes around the world, but the American was the biggest.
But you got it started.
Yeah, a long time ago, and now I've brought him back, David Brent, which is the English Michael Scott. Yeah.
Clips tagged Original Office reignited global binge watching and cemented Ricky's reputation as the polite proprietor of pop culture accuracy. On a glossy daytime news magazine stage, coffee mugs in hand and cue cards at the ready, the host fumbled through guest introductions before tacking on to a climate change segment, despite flying both Ricky and Russell Brand in on private jets.
A lot of people having a good deal of fun, including these two gents, Russell Brand and Ricky Gervais. Try and behave yourself, gentlemen, if you can.
Do that again and do the names.
No, I'm not doing it again. That's fine.
Like he's Russell Brand, I'm Ricky Gervais.
I think people can work this out. I think people can work it out. The short one and the tall one, so don't worry about that. Now, as far as you're concerned,
which is which?
I don't know. I haven't worked that out yet. As far as you're concerned,
that's his attack. That's his first attack on you, Ricky.
Oh,
What's he
yeah.
going to say about me?
Highest.
Okay, should we talk about something else now?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, climate change. All right.
Okay.
Are you here tonight just to enjoy the content?
I'm
and
not here
to
tonight.
do the job.
I'm not even here tonight. He is. This is
He
live.
is.
This is pre-recorded.
Right. Okay. Well, this is all going horribly wrong.
You
isn't
asked
it?
us.
I know. I'm regretting it now. I'm regretting it now.
No, it's a pleasure to be here, and everyone here is an absolute professional.
Except him. It's a shambles. Are you drunk?
Not yet. Now, climate change then. Is it something that you're interested in, or are you just here for the booze?
He's not holding that microphone.
Perched.
I should tell you what his other hand's doing.
All right, no, never mind. Look, it's holding this, so don't worry about that. Don't believe everything you hear from this man. So I'll ask you, climate change. Is it something you think seriously about?
You're the preferable one.
Right.
Imagine that. Someone would rather talk to you than someone else.
This
Go
is
on.
quite a mark on your character that he's turned to me. Yeah, of course I care about climate change. Now, as individuals, we can do an awful lot. You, for example, you're going to have to change the way you're living your lifestyle. Don't look all cynical.
And how do you know how I live my lifestyle?
No, look, it's important. He don't care about nothing.
Killing turtles for a laugh.
He does do that.
Ricky seized the moment, spotlighting the hypocrisy. Preaching low-carbon living from the belly of a high-emissions jet is like lecturing on shoe polishing while wearing muddy boots.
Right, okay, but seriously, guys.
Okay, no, seriously.
Right, do you really think that this sort of concert makes any difference whatsoever? There's a message out there, climate change. You guys are here having a good time. Everyone else is in the audience. Do you think it's
It does make a difference because a lot of the acts were flown in by private jet. So that's added to the emissions no end.
He then sketched out practical lifestyle tweaks. Recycle that cup, swap a commute for a bicycle, and reminded viewers that real change demands real action, not just trendy hashtags.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I don't clean my teeth now and let the tap run.
I don't do that.
No, exactly. I don't clean my teeth. I recycle. But I don't. Do you find it hard walking through busy built-up areas now? We have to have a car with blacked-out windows, don't we? And that adds to it. I used to walk everywhere.
You have to walk everywhere. Go on rollerblades or something.
Yeah, now they shout, "Do the dance." To you, which is weird.
And I can't do the dance, you know.
Of course you can. Go on.
No. If it comes to that point, I think it's been a grim afternoon here at Wembley if I find myself doing that dance. Crikey.
The host's forced smile as the segment unraveled became a viral moment under climate mic drop, leading countless viewers to rethink their morning routines. Primetime pressure. Piers Morgan sat across from Ricky, arguing that certain disabilities should bar citizens from gun ownership.
You love America, I love America.
Yeah.
Let's start from that position.
I said next they'll be saying blind people shouldn't drive cars, which is the first thing I thought of, because I think people have got to see the difference. They were talking about it as an equality issue. Aren't blind people allowed to defend themselves?
Their constitutional right would be damaged if, and they gave an example of, if they were fully sighted and used a gun, Just because they lost their sight, why should they lose the constitutional right to continue having a gun?
Ricky countered by invoking the First Amendment's shield for free speech, noting that it's precisely this protection that allows him to dissect the Second Amendment.
Yeah, well, it's a difficult one, but the short answer is because they can't see what they're shooting. That's what I'd say.
Then came the zinger, comparing the US ban on Kinder eggs deemed choking hazards to the open sale of AR-15s in suburban superstores. The table went silent.
In fact, it covers, I'm a US resident, so I'm technically also covered by the Constitution. That's why I'm allowed to criticise the Second Amendment about guns, because of the First Amendment about free speech.
But tell me you're not allowed to carry a gun.
I would not be allowed to carry a gun here in New York, but I could carry one in, Dallas, or I could carry one anywhere.
Really?
I go to Walmart in Houston and buy one. They'll be on the wall. I can't buy a Kinder egg, those little eggs with little toys in, because it may choke me, so they're a health hazard. But where the Kinder egg would be sold in a British store, they instead have an AR-15 assault rifle.
Dear America, please let Piers buy a Kinder egg. but don't let him buy a gun.
Clips labeled Gervais vs. Morgan spread faster than wildfire, with that Kinder egg analogy becoming shorthand for legislative absurdity and earning a place in every late-night monologue. The Late Show stage, bathed in warm light, set the scene for Stephen Colbert's classic metaphysical salvo. Why is there something rather than nothing?
Talking about hell before, about this tweet about you going to hell.
Yeah.
And I know that you're an atheist, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. People have been debating. That's the devil waiting for you in hell, by the way. Would you want to debate the existence of God? Okay. Yeah. So, Ricky Gervais, why is there something instead of nothing?
Ricky reframed the heavyweight question in a heartbeat. If why is unanswerable, then how deserves attention instead.
Why is there something?
But surely the big question is not why, but how. Well, why is irrelevant?
Okay, fine.
When divine movers and demiurges crept into the debate, he distilled millennia of religious diversity into a single arithmetic joke.
How is there something? Because you think of God as the prime mover. How is there anything instead of nothing?
I don't. This is a ridiculous
Is there a prime mover?
If
Is there a demiurge that started everything?
Disbelief in thousands of gods is as logical as disbelief in just one. Laughter rippled across the audience. Colbert's raised eyebrows said it all.
Well, outside science and nature, I don't believe so. Because the interesting thing is, this is the thing, right? So, I'm an agnostic atheist, technically. Agnostics means no one knows whether there's a God. So everyone's technically agnostic. We don't know.
That's true.
So
that's true.
An agnostic atheist is someone who doesn't know there's a God or not, as no one does.
So you're not convicted of your atheism?
Well, I am.
Sure.
No, I am, because atheism is only rejecting the claim that there is a God. Atheism isn't a belief system. Atheism. So this is atheism in a nutshell. You say there's a God. I say, can you prove that? You say no. I say I don't believe you then. So you believe in one God, I assume?
In three persons, but go ahead.
Okay. So you believe. Okay. So. But there are about 3,000 to choose from that have been, people who believe in.
I've done some reading, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So basically, you believe in, you deny one less God than I do. You don't believe in 2,999 gods, and I don't believe in just one more.
Right.
The clip under philosophy mic drop became must-watch material for philosophy buffs and comedy fans alike, proving that a stand-up comedian can outpace an academic symposium in a single quip. Finally, the TBS studio with its giant faux moon peeking behind Conan's desk. Ricky confessed he often loses track of which channel Conan's show plays on.
Nice to have you here.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Yeah.
Nice new studio.
This is new. This is a new experience, yes.
Yeah, it's great to...
Giant moon, big fake moon behind you.
Actually, the studio was easier to find than the channel on the TV.
Wandering past eyebrow tint infomercials and shapewear spots before stumbling onto the late-night stage.
I persevered.
Yeah, it takes a while.
I didn't know there were that many channels, to be honest.
I didn't until we came to this channel. I didn't realize, and I'll be honest with you, I sometimes forget where we are in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Instead of embarrassment, he turned remote-control dyslexia into playful back and forth with Conan, joking about costume jewelry corridors and do-it-yourself eyebrow zones.
What are we on here?
I have no idea. I always get stuck on the costume jewelry, and then I just...
you go through that, you keep going, you go to costume jewelry, eyebrow plucking channel, and then,
Conan chimed in with studio tour commentary, and what could have been a bland set visit became a shining example of improvised friendship.
And then eventually you find...
Osama bin Laden's got a chat show just before yours.
It's very good.
Clips tagged Ricky Lost in LA shot up on YouTube, forging a digital bond among viewers eternally lost in their own cable menus. When the mic becomes a mirror, you see more than comedy. You witness control, poise, and the art of turning surprise into spectacle. Ricky Gervais didn't just deliver jokes in these 7 moments. He rewrote the script for every interviewer's playbook. From logic-led takedowns to history lessons wrapped in charm, each exchange lit up social feeds and reminded the world that the real power lies with the comedian who owns the conversation. Which showdown had you hitting replay? Share your pick below, smash like, and subscribe to Wokely, where every unexpected question becomes the setup for the perfect comeback.